elements of food is very handy because your health no longer automatically increases. Some things when you move around looking at those throughout the bag is that cannibal is actually not a cure. I'm not sure on his thinking behind that, but there it is. The carry weight has been increased some. With my modest strength of, 7, and power armor with the calibrated shots in the legs, I'm able to carry 675 pounds. That's actually quite a bit. He's increased the power armor from 10 to, I believe I read, he increased it to 14, which makes sense to me. The normal game, I'm sorry, not 10, 11. The normal game, when you enter power armor, it puts your strength at 11, I believe is what it is. It could be 10. But it doesn't make much sense to me that power armor would only give you the strength that you could naturally acquire yourself. We're talking an entire suit made of armor and hydraulics, and such. I like this change. It increases the strength power of the armor gives you to 14. So that's going to change some of the way that some of these strength perks work. Removing the level requirements piece has really made it makes everything feel so much more open. Okay, now I want to talk about crafting. Now, I thought about going through combat, talking about the combat really, the way crafting works, the way everything has changed, the way things are crafted, and the way things support you really does kind of define the way you go into combat and into everything else. So let's start off with some of the crafting and resources that things are made up of, so we'll see why I'm mentioning this. So here we have a big car, like we're here at a settlement and we scrap. The difference is when you're learning to make a gameplay, if I really scrap this car, the resources are the same. 24,000 euros, 5 years. And what he did was, the creator of this mod sought to make it so that they break down to a realistic amount of the things they contain. Whereas, if it takes 2 steel to modify the slide on your pistol, it doesn't make much sense that this car would only give you 20 or whatever that does, you know what I mean? He's gone through and done extensive research, to an extent that one can do, as to what things would probably break down into. Now, so this prevents you, say, for instance, scrapping 2 teddy bears and out of that cloth building a couch. That doesn't make sense. On the other hand, well, here's what that means. So when you scrap the settlement, you're going to have an insane amount of crap. If I go through, say, wood, you can see I have 69k wood and 762k steel. But you can also see that this thing costs 200 each to build. So the balance is somewhat maintained. It's still cheap as hell. You got thunder weapons and building small things is still cheap. But he's sought to make it so that building things takes the materials that they would take and, what you get. However, as you progress past your first settlement and the Commonwealth, you start to see how it's affecting you because once you scrap a settlement and when you build some humongous fortress, suddenly you're out of materials. Oh, and now, so buying a shipment of, 500 concrete only builds you a couple walls. Like it probably would, Everything on that level's been changed. Same thing when you pick up a bag of cement no longer weighs 5 pounds and gives you, 5 concrete or whatever. Bag of concrete now weighs 94 pounds and gives you like 400 units of concrete. So, the balance has been shifted, and it affects a lot of the way that things work. Now, I don't much worry with this. I have a lot of resources. The thing is, I'm a builder, and I have a YouTube channel, which focuses on building. I can't continue to do what I do, play with this mod, which I want to play, and I can't work with the building resources, so I use unlocked settlement objects. It's not why I use unlocked settlement objects. I use it because I need a tool that provides me, and it does provide me a way to craft without having to worry about spending 200 steel on a piece of wood, since with the stairs on top. Actually, it's called the bottom top. I don't consider that cheating because I'm a builder and it's what I do. So that's how the building aspect of crafting has changed. individual core to provide much less food. In the vanilla game, one nutrient plant provides one food. Here, it provides 2/4 of a food. Potatoes, 0.25, corn produces 0.5. So, at first, you're like, well, crap, like food counts for less now. But actually, it's a dream. It really is. A settler can provide 6 food. Whether it takes 100 plants or 5 plants, will provide, 6 food. So the fact that each of these plants is worth less food is actually a bonus because that means you can farm more potatoes because crafting is, I think, more realistic. Again, from the opposite perspective, it's going to be more realistic. It's going to be the way I see it about. So now I can plant more stuff to work with than seeing people farming. You see what I'm doing? So I think the decrease in what food is actually a good thing. And what do you use? For instance, you can take wild corn and you now you can't. Razor grain has a use in that you can read it as a flavor. Corn and potatoes, always making staples of food because you can mix them to vegetable starch, which is explicit. And that is still true. But corn has another reason I'm going to show you. Don't mind a few windows. It's it's the glitch. I think the glitch fix with probably my lower order. What I put my stove. Here it is. And this is just temporary. So corn, you can now make corn flour. And corn flour is used to make gunpowder. Now, ammunition with this mod, ammunition is vital. And you'll pick up a lot of ammunition from raids. I have probably 55,000 rounds of 7.62 just from fighting off gunners. However, I don't, that's not my go-to ammunition. The go-to ammunition is 50 caliber. That's essential to survive that immersive gameplay. You need 50 caliber rounds, and the best way, is to make it. Now, there's actually 2 ways to make gunpowder, or to make ammunition. To make ammunition, you need to make gunpowder. All the ammunitions they require gunpowder. Well, all of the ballistic ammunition, of course. You can make gunpowder in the grenade section, and there's actually 2 ways to make it. This is very clever, really cool. You can make it with cornflour, acid, fertilizer, or you can make it with sugar bombs and fertilizer. The sugar bombs staying for the acid and the cornflour. I really like it. It really makes sense. It's very cool. I like that there's 2 ways to craft the gunpowder, and I like the whole process of farming it and turning it into cornflour and so on and so forth to make the gunpowder. That part of crafting is very, very cool. There's so much stuff. It's fun to get crafted because you see immersive gameplay and most of what you see and advertised is the damage and combat stuff. And that's why I wanted to touch on this first. This really makes stuff fun. Now there's so much more to crafting. You probably noticed I had a few more options at the cooking station. Shipments. Okay, for instance, ammo shipments. This is something that I do. What you can do is you can take excess ammo, turn them into shipments, and sell it. Now, the economy here is much different. Ammunition is not cheap. It's very expensive. For me, just to buy the 50 caliber ammo, I need to cost a fortune. So what I can do here is I have an excess of 7.62. So I can come back here, and I can make a shipment of 7.62 ammo, and for storage, or something, whatever. Of course, ammo doesn't weigh anything. If you put an ammo with ammo doesn't weigh anything. That's not really, doesn't really mean anything, but the ammo shipments is kind of cool. But the reason I mention shipments is because this is awesome. Because meat does weigh stuff. Now, in the same vein as that car breaking down to a realistic amount of steel, when you throw a drum, you get a realistic amount of drum and meat. And so you could drop a drum and you're looking at possibly about 200 drum and meat. Why on earth would you ever need that? It's cool because to get by with immersive gameplay, boy, things are scarce, the economy is shit, you need money, and hunting, this actually, just by chance makes hunting actually a reliable profession in this game with this mod, because it's like that's largely how I get my devices. Before having humongous excess of ammunition I have now from hundreds and hundreds of people raiding the settlements, before that, I relied on grinding and grinding to get by. So you drop a Brahmin, and you can turn his into shipments. Now, the reason for that being that, well, the reason for shipments in the game originally, because you can't carry all that weight. So that allows me to, 200 Brahmin, it's weightless, I have 2 shipments, and I can trade it for goods and services. The reason I'm still this mini is because animals also draw fat, and fat can be rendered into oil. How awesome and smart is that? It's just cool. That part is just plain cool.
A lot of people ask me how do I make my own tube. I actually noticed that that was very popular.
So the crafting in general, beyond everything else, is just so much fun. Now, I did mention that I do kind of take the easy way on building because I have a mod that allows me to basically build for free. But I am a builder. That's what my channel was based upon. It is what it is. And if you've seen the size of these raids that you get, and I will address those later in this review, there is no such thing as cheating when it comes to building. No matter what you build, you can't but level the playing field. And that part is awesome. Now, while I mentioned that, there are advantages I have I don't use simply because this mod makes crafting so much fun. For instance, I run UCO, Uniform Clothing Overhaul. And, I believe it's that mod. It allows me to make armorsmith and gunsmith and ammunition workbenches. Now, I do use those to make armor. I made this snazzy black synth armor because I like the way it looks. Again, it's heavy armor is a dime a dozen with this mod. Everyone's wearing heavy armor. Hell, you have to survive. But it's the ammunition workbench, which I was going to address. I don't use that because I have so much fun farming my corn, turning the corn flour, making gunpowder, and then making ammunition. I could make ammunition much easier with the ammunition workbench, just with fertilizer and some lead and steel or whatever, But this crafting has changed everything so meaningfully that I actually find it fun, and the mod lives up to its name in that this makes it way more immersive. Now, hopefully, I've done this well enough to see why I put crafting before combat, because the crafting system dictates the combat that I undertake. It dictates where I go and what I do because of what I need. For instance, power armor is a must. I mean, you could play immersive gameplay without power armor, but I choose to play with it, and most probably do. Because power armor is a must, and because it is broken down so much, I'm always on the lookout for circuitry to repair my torso, And so, a want for more materials to repair the things I need, just like the resources to make gunpowder and things like that, dictate where I go and what I do. That's why I put crafting before combat. There's been times when I decide, okay, I'm going to go hunting, and so instead of questing, I go on a hunt, and I set out to hunt yaguai or red stag or brahmin or whatever it is that I need, because these materials have real actual meaningful value in this mod. Alright, let's see what is up next. Combat with immersive gameplay is an entirely different animal. And as you saw in those previous clips, they're tough, they're smart, and they use everything at their disposal, just like you do. So it's a level playing field is the best way that I would describe it. You saw a guy with a melee weapon advance, covered here, then when I went to aim at him, jumped in here, and he covered it here. Even with using melee weapons, will cover and approach you intelligently until they have the forces to either charge you, like he did once his buddy arrived, and they go charge you, Or, if you killed enough of them, they may just run away. Also, killing enemies quickly is in your best interest because they all have ammunition. They have a set amount of ammunition and they use it. Now, notice these guys can't really have any ammo. I think one or two of them did. That's why they were running the melee weapons, because they had fired their ammo, and so they went to the backup melee weapon and ran at it. Now, that's also why, as I mentioned earlier, I had some 1,000 rounds of 7.62, because I keep getting raided by the gunners. And the gunners you raid yourself will spawn with about 1,000 rounds of it. Now, if you don't kill them quickly, they will put those 1,000 rounds of 7.62 through the barrel of a minigun. That's why they have so much ammo for their miniguns and for their combat rifles. So it's an interesting kind of balance. It's like, how cautiously do I approach killing these raiders? Because the longer I get to kill them, the less ammo they're going to have on their person when they die. Now, again, as you know, those raiders many of them were in mostly heavy armor. They had highly modified weapons. And it's no different when you start the game versus, right now I'm in level 20. The first raider I came across was in heavy armor and was wielding a rocket launcher. And he killed me a few times. Now you start off with decent resources, and certainly once you get those raiders, you quickly get weird with the same stuff they're carrying. It's really more real-life survival level playing field kind of scenario. And then, so as I said, it's really more dangerous. And there are enemies that will surprise you. You will come across robots, such as Mr. Customs and things that won't attack you initially. On the other hand, you'll come across ghouls, which will kill you at a frightening pace. Ghouls are absolutely terrifying with this mod. You'll come across things like this. See, he fired his ammo and now he's running at you. You'll come across things like this. Tougher and more intelligent raiders, that you don't expect to ambush you in places you may not expect. Now, I don't know exactly everything that he changed with that. But you have to be a lot more careful when you're walking around, especially because of, there they are. Insects are the worst. Now, personally, this is the one thing I have got to be critical about with this mod. I think that the insects are a little overpowered. Even power armor, a blood bug will take me down in about 0.2 seconds. It's kind of ridiculous. So I watch very carefully where I'm going. I'm not sure his thinking on buffing the bugs the way he did. But, this is pretty cool. It's not too hard, and it seems balanced. I can walk around power armor. Now, if one of those guys who shot me in the head, as I was shooting the guy who fired zero ammo, I shot it back to the head, even in power armor, would likely drop. So, this mod is, forced me to take a more, cautious play style. And even though I was walking straight after, notice I was not firing loudly, I was firing slowly, looking for headshots. And, it feels good. But again, watch out for those damn mosquito things. Again, I'm not sure what his thinking was on that. But, so let's talk about raids. I'm in my Black Fortress and Sanctuary at its current level of construction. You've seen our previous videos, and you've seen this place, no explanations needed. Raids and immersive gameplay are frequent and can be overwhelming. I have spared absolutely, no expense, no matter of time, in building this as securely as is possibly within my control, and I'm still finding ways to improve it. The raids seem to come in really small ones, kind of medium ones, and with large ones, and it can happen frequently. I've had back-to-back raids in Sanctuary, like, as in, maybe 1 or 2 game time days apart. In small raids, I've seen as little as 10 or 15 right now, and in large raids, I've had 3 or 4 699 raids, which is enough to drop your frame rate. And, well, I want to show you how to lock down your settlement. As I showed you, I have a way to close this door and lock it down. When this door is locked, all of this is inaccessible by the room, which is absolutely necessary. These gunshots start ringing out. Well, I changed the picture of the raid back when it started with the view with voiceover. I done a raid. There's no point in showing that they're brutal or if they're just last raid. 13 of them are power angle shootings. Now, when you have a new gun, he drops it. The rear can push it back up. So it's a constant battle to shoot you and turn the minigun and push it back up. And those bullets come flying through these windows. Now, honestly, the best way I found to defend myself is taking one bench. This is the best one I found. Just taking one bench to cover, get a sniper rifle, and this is the best one because from right here, it can't really get high. It can only really enter this field of vision because there's a house there, there's a building there. So I just sit right here and snipe. It's kind of cheap, but they will always wonder if you're going to fire because if you give them a small window where you're shooting them through, that's the only window they can shoot you through. They will wonder if you're killing you and you can take them down. There is no such thing as being cheap with immersive gameplay. These raids are massive. Now, one of my viewers commented that they love immersive gameplay. And really, 9 out of 10 of the raids, you just weren't sure about the raids and you wanted to know my thoughts on the raids. My thoughts on the raids, I absolutely love it. I purposely do my videos so you get more raids. First of all, the main way I get mission armor, by breaking down the level. It's fun. I love playing the second game. And when you have 50 gunners bringing absolutely everything to the average, you cannot hold it back. I mean, the gunshots start. The first thing I'll do is a few short bursts and my turrets die. And then the explosions start. The last one, there were several missile launchers. There was one with a fat man. One of them had a triple barrel missile launcher, I think, because I was hearing explosions and balls and shooting. And so, to me, the raids are actually exciting. You know, so take into account everything I said about combat before. You know, in the previous parts of this section where I'm talking about combat, now put that, you know, at that, go up to the raid, and the security has enforced the ability of this to survive. By the way, I still do die. Well, once or twice every couple of days or so on the wild, because it just takes too much fighting. It's incredible. You know, I said this in the practice section when I said it's meant to be immersive, but I just have so much fun with it. I forget that it's supposed to be immersive. And I think that is the immersion. So, my opinion on the raids are bad. I love it. Now, you know, I've got 20 on sets of 245. I'm stripping off all these gunners and stuff. And it can be a bit ridiculous. It's like, seriously? They brought 13 gunners and 245 military powered armor, all really made guys. They brought a fat man, they brought missile launchers. Seriously, they brought all this just to attack me? But think about it. I mean, think about it really. You know, if you were the sole survivor, and you used everything you had at your disposal, if you found power armor, you would probably wear it. If you built a settlement like this, you would wear it in the garden. And if you were someone looking to build a settlement like this, would you seriously go into 5 years journeys and see if you can take it over? Of course not. You know, from the perspective of the gunners, they're going to bring everything they have. They have a lot for this program, and they're going to try to get you. The mix of gameplay combat is everything and everyone has everything at their disposal, and they're not afraid to use it, and you should do it. So, I absolutely love the raids, and I love the combat. Something else I want to talk about is VATS. I actually forgot to put this here in the combat section at first because I hardly ever use it. VATS, it's greatly, especially at range. Now I'm pretty close to Crescent here, so I have pretty good chance to get every part of his body. And when it comes to the body, they are visibly crippled. A headshot, again, I'm pretty close here. If I were to back up, you would see that at a decent range, we would normally use it. A lot of shots just are not going to be viable. That's still a really high chance. Usually I'm in the 30s, getting into that, so I don't know exactly what covers that. But what I want to point out is you have you don't have to worry. The weapons have a far lower AP cost. And I'm not sure if that bar is glitched, because that's how it works. But it's okay, because I still don't use that much. You have a lot lower AP cost, but you really get very viable for body shots, and you can serve ammo effectively, but most of the gameplay you really need to go for the headshots. Now, on the topic of AP, it regenerates much slower. It regenerates very slowly. So, yes, I do want to mention that. VATS is just, well, honestly, the whole VATS system isn't very immersive. So, not something I use much here. And I love this power armor, and the way power armor works in the game, and that's what I want to touch on next. Okay, power armor and fusion cores is something so different that affects your gameplay in such a significant way that it really does deserve its own section in this video. It's changed a lot. We'll get this wrong. Immersive gameplay makes fusion cores and power armor and the way they look so much, different. Fusion cores last a lot longer. The current fusion core I have has only degraded about in 20 levels, maybe 8%. It's still the same core I got, from Conquer at the beginning. I believe I got it at 40, and it's now at 32. On the other hand, they're also much rarer, and they're a lot more money. And the way I see it, that's how it would be. If you were going to, if the technology existed to make a super computer such as this, do you honestly think that it would be battle ready and military issue with a battery that lasts an hour and a half? Of course not. If you had the technology to make something like this, if it had the technology to have something like the power armor last for days, and whatever. Either way, it's fine. I got no complaints. But in the base game, fusion cores, they go so quick because you have so many of them. Most of my characters too are level, high level, like level 70, 80, things like that. They've got well over 100 fusion cores. They have, it's like candy. This makes it more valuable, more rare, and it lasts, more longer. Now, onto the armor itself. So this is the crafting station. The armor is more like I think it would be. Now, this is T60, of course. Now, T60 does have more protection than the T45, but each armor has its own specialty. Let's go here. Now, they took out the ABCDEF. It's not here anymore. I think that was kind of pointless and stupid. They took it out. T60 is T60, T45 is T45. Now, T60 protects you a little better, but the T45 is tougher. It has more health. I don't know right now to demonstrate that, but, the torso has 900 health, I believe, for the T45. The way you do it is the T45 is simpler, it's less high tech, so it's tougher, but it won't take as much damage. This will take a little more damage. Now I know I haven't encountered any T51 or XO1 yet, but I understand that if I recall, T51 is better at energy protection. I understand this is better radiation. I can't verify that, and I've not seen XO1. From what I read in the mod author's FAQ, he took out XO1. It only exists, it won't randomly spawn anywhere. It only exists in, the inventory of the habitats occasionally you can buy a piece, and, at set places where it exists in storage, so you don't encounter it. Now, okay, so anyway, let's go back to what I said. You took out the ABCDF, right. T60 is T60. Now, the first mod slot, what it does, it's very simple. It gives you, it increases your explosive protection. Basically what the paint used to be, which made no sense to me. Well, it made a little sense, but he took what the paint used to be and put it here. So I can say, okay, I want this T60 to be better, for explosives. So I can modify it for that. I can modify it for increased speed and agility. I can modify it to improve luck somehow. I can modify it for this or that. And the paint is not just that. All the paint just gets a flat charisma bonus. So it really means you have to put whatever kind of paint you want, because it doesn't confer any actual bonuses. The actual bonuses are here, where the ABCDEF crap used to be. And I say crap. Come on, it was kind of silly. So when you get T45, it's all T45D. When you get T60, it's all T60A, no matter what. When you get T51, I assume it's, T51B, which is the famous T51 that's in actual Fallout lore. And it's probably why it has enhanced engine protection because, in lore it was white. It was the winterized, that was the advertised T51. And, the Battle for Anchorage or whatever. And getting off track, though, I like the way that this has been done. Now, these mods here are all the same, all the